Tonight on Patriots Unfiltered on TV, dominating from the opening kickoff, the Patriots become the first team to 11 wins, and now they get a week to savor their success. Primetime players. For the third time this season, New England proves it likes to play in the national spotlight. As the Pats head into the bye, what are the concerns facing the team over the last 4 games of the season? And we'll look ahead to whom the Pats might want to face when the playoffs begin.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
Marcus Jones gone to the 20, to the 10, to the house. Touchdown, Patriots!
Look at this place!
An electric run electrifies Gillette Stadium. Marcus Jones and the Patriots pull the plug early on any chance of a Giants upset. The Patriots were physical, the Patriots were relentless, and the Patriots were ruthless in extending their winning streak to 10 games. Hello again, everyone. I'm Alex Francisco. This is Patriots Unfiltered on TV. With 17 points on the board, the Patriots were done with the Giants before they were done with the first quarter. And now they head into the last stretch of the season as the AFC's #1 seed. Let's huddle up now with Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault. 11-2 record, 10 consecutive wins. You know, they're tired, they're really banged up, and despite all things, they come out, play great complimentary football, put this one away pretty early, and probably get their most dominant win of the season.
Yeah, I like the physicality right out of the gate. And third, having a long week, getting ready, you didn't know if they might come out a little bit flat, but you could tell right from the get-go that this team was going to come out with energy, and that's exactly what they did. Laid some big hits early on to set the tone, and as you said, Alex, just an impressive 3-phase win.
It was a little bit of an old school kind of, the first iteration of the dynasty, if you will, kind of win. And you got a couple of guys banged up. You want to make sure that you're taking care of all your details. And what comes out, you get a 94-yard punt return in the first quarter, which basically ends the game. You get that complimentary stuff. You get a kick return from Terrell Jennings, first play of the game, which sets you up on a short field, leads to points. 94-yard punt return by Marcus Jones. All of a sudden, it's 10-0. You have those complementary elements of the game. All 3 phases were really, really good in this game, and that's kind of the way it used to be around here.
I think Mike Vrabel gets these guys up for these primetime games, but was it still kind of surprising?
Well, I think, to Paul's point, the Terrell Jennings kickoff return right from the get-go, and instantly you're just about at midfield for your first offensive possession. They didn't come away with a touchdown on that drive, but just getting points on the field goal. It's right, yeah. You get a good start, but I still like the good finishes, and I felt like in the second half, they just kind of strangled them out. There wasn't much opportunity. They didn't score a lot, but they were able to hold on to the ball and really just give the Giants no opportunities to
Alex,
get anywhere.
I love your point about Mike Vrabel seems to be able to get the team really focused in these big spots. I think he does it extremely well. I think he has the pulse of the team. I think that's the most impressive element, in my view, in these 13 games before the bye, just how connected the team has been throughout. It would have been very easy to look ahead and want that rest. Mike's point is right on. They came out completely the opposite. They 17-0 first quarter. They completely choked out the Giants and took away any hope. I think Vrabel was very cognizant of that. Let's jump on them early. Let's be ready to go early, and then we can play the second half the way we want to, the way they did.
Some of us, I'm going to look at Deuce, were a little down bad last week over some of the pieces that we lost, especially in the trenches. That was the biggest point of apprehension going into this game on both sides of the ball. So how did you guys feel those depth guys on the offensive and defensive line stepped up?
Yeah, well, we got to shout out Verian Low, on the left side, and Ben Brown as well. Those guys played great. We talk all week about the vaunted pass rushers of the Giants defense, and, Josh McDaniels able to scheme around them a little bit. You get some chip blocks along the way, but still, they just continue to do what they do. And when you have Drake Maye, and he's, on 3rd and long, and he's just chucking it to the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown, it's just so hard to defend. This is such a reversal from what we've seen in recent years where it felt like anything beyond a 3rd and 5, you're just praying to God you can get a first down. This team is aggressive, and they feed off of that energy. Just highlight Corey Durden, too, who had to step in. No Tonga, no Milton Williams. Third guy, next man up, stepped up, former team. and just, again, another guy who brought a lot of energy, and I think the rest of the team fed off of it.
Durden is a guy I want to call Tyler Durden from Fight Club. He's giving Fight Club vibes.
Yeah, again, it was that complimentary element. And, specifically with Maye, though, I just continue to be amazed by his accuracy on the deep ball down the field. The deep ball to Kyle Williams, and give Kyle Williams credit. He's not asked to go out there and do a whole lot. We're going to actually do one or two things. We need you to be ready when we call on you. He's ready. He makes a play, but just an absolutely perfect throw over the shoulder, right where his receiver can get it. No way that the defender can make a play on it. And I continue to be just absolutely mesmerized by his accuracy down the field.
The deep ball, man. He's just has us all in a trance.
It has. And you saw it right from the get-go as a rookie that he had a confidence to throw it. I'm with Paul. I never thought that you'd see this kind of accuracy, this kind of aggressiveness. I mean, sometimes you can see when these shot plays are going to come.
35-yard handoffs.
Right in.
He just goes like this. Here you go, Kyle. It's unreal just how accurate he's been. And I really like some of the sort of maturity that Maye showed in this game where, on the few occasions that he was pressured, just so calm. He steps out of the pocket. He moves. His maturity level, I think, even from the start of the season to now, has been off the chart.
Just let's give the defense some love as a whole, what you guys saw out of them. Me particularly, that hit in the beginning of the game from Christian Ellis on Jackson Dart, like the energy that brought to that group, I was like, okay, they're ready to go. Like, this is going to be an aggressive defense tonight. What do you guys see from them?
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it felt a little bit like they were rejuvenated a tiny bit. Like they just kind of had some renewed energy.
How? Why? Give me some of that.
Well, credit to Mike Vrabel for getting these guys ready. I'm not going to lie. I think this team still misses Milton Williams. I think some of the better quarterbacks be able to take advantage of some of the underneath stuff. Don't think Jackson Dart was able to quite do that. Would love to get Milton Williams back, though, and Tonga. I think those two guys remain incredibly vital, but at the same time, I think they're showing they have depth, and I think that's a good sign for the program, that they're developing guys behind the scenes who maybe aren't playing every week but are ready for their opportunities when they come.
I thought that it was one of the better defensive performances they've had. The Giants have been, kind of frisky offensively.
Really frisky.
I mean, they've been able to score 20 points. I mean, they didn't get to 20 points in this game. They only had 15. I thought the physicality that Mike talked about, I would throw a guy like Marty Mapu in there. I thought he had a big hit early in the game, kind of set the tone with Ellis. Ellis was really active, and I think he had 10 tackles. It was one of his better games probably as a Patriot. And then, Carlton Davis, Christian Gonzalez, I thought they were a little bit more engaged, with the pass breakups. So this was a really good all-around game for the defense.
Still to come on Patriots Unfiltered on TV. 13 games down, 4 to go before the playoffs. The biggest concerns facing the Patriots come the postseason. Fred Kirsch on how the Patriots are finding new ways to win. Trash Talk looks at the best playoff matches for the Patriots. And I'll go one-on-one with Patriots offensive lineman Verian Low as he tells us why the offensive line loves Shirley Temples.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots. And by Sports Illustrated Tickets. 50 million sports concerts and theater tickets, 0 fees. Fans deserve better. Visit SITickets.com today.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
What's up, everybody? It's Evan Lazar. It's the Unfiltered Film Room. No opponent to prepare for this week, so let's talk about our guy. It's Drake Maye in the Patriots offense here. Really excited to talk about this play. I think this is one of Drake's best throws of the season. If we can just pause it right here for a second. I want to talk about the routes first, and then we'll get into the defense. But the Patriots are just going to run 3 vertical routes, 2 go balls down here at the bottom of the screen, but the key route right here is by Pop Douglas in the slot. This is called a middle read. So he's got a read here based off the safety shell. 2 high safeties. We're going to split the safeties. 1 high safety. We're going to keep this one in the seam. So that's the routes that Drake Maye is looking at. Also just wanted to point out real quick, he's throwing with his feet in the end zone here on a 3rd and 11. Patriots are never out of it with Drake Maye. But the player I want to highlight on the defensive side is this linebacker right here. So he's going to be the pole runner. He's going to run this middle read route with Pop Douglas as the safeties split here at the deep part of the field. So the Patriots know, and Maye knows as we roll this play a little bit longer, that he's got pop on a linebacker. So we throw it from our own end zone with anticipation and layer it on the other side of the linebacker. That is a hell of a throw by Drake Maye. So that's why Drake Maye is in that MVP conversation. Much deserved bye week for the Patriots. We'll be back next week to break down the Buffalo Bills. I'm Evan Lazar.
The last 13 weeks have really flown by here because, 10-game win streak, winning is living, guys.
That's right.
But time to rest, reset, and with no opponent to preview next week, this gives us the perfect chance to have a little State of the Union. Expectations have changed. Yeah. The Patriots have a real opportunity here to lock in and make a run and just kind of take advantage of what they're given. But there's some things that can derail that.
Yeah. Short yardage running, being able to punch it in. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 1 from the goal line. I mean, those kind of plays in the playoffs, when the games are on the line, you have to be able to pick up those critical yards. Their red zone offense back after they beat Tennessee in week 7 was 14th. Now they're 24th. They've kind of been in a free fall. They haven't been playing well in the red zone. So they have to find a way in those short yardage, especially inside the red zone, of converting those, of picking up touchdowns. As they say, you can't bring knives to a gunfight, especially in the playoffs. You got to score touchdowns.
I'll just go to the obvious here and talk about keeping Drake Maye in one piece. 40 sacks. He's been getting hit, a fair amount. Let's, figure out a way to keep him in one piece. You banged up a little bit on the offensive line, so it won't be easy. I think Verian Low was terrific in the Monday night game. Like to see a little bit more of that from him. But that would be my number one issue is obviously you got to keep the meal ticket in one piece.
This was an issue before you lose Will Campbell, before you lose pieces on the line. And how much do those offensive line injuries impact the running game even more than where it was already at?
Yeah, it's hard to, again, they're on a 10-game win streak, so you're really what's real
We're really
and what
grasping
isn't?
at straws here, but
Because some teams just win games, and that doesn't mean that there aren't flaws underneath the surface. But I kind of agree with Paul. It didn't look all that different. I didn't really see them running the ball the last couple of weeks with Will Campbell and Gerald Wilson in there. I didn't really see them run the ball this week, against the Giants. So I'm not sure what the answer is. And I do think trying to at least get something in the run game going is going to be critical.
Patriots fans in particular don't want to hear about how soft the schedule has been. But it has been soft. And in some of those games, the games have been decided by one score. So when you're playing against more difficult teams, the inability to do what Mike's talking about could impact the game a little bit more than it has against New Orleans or against the Jets. Drake Maye has been remarkable this year in long yardage situations. They're almost better 3rd and 9 than they are 3rd and 1. Not a great way to go about business in the playoffs when one punt might be the difference in winning and losing.
Let's go to the defense. All season it's been a bend not break team. I think they've gotten a little stronger in the last couple weeks.
For me, it's about the pass rush. No Milton Williams. He was a huge factor inside. You're seeing Harold Landry's battling a knee injury that had him questionable this week. Kayvon Chason still being productive, but you've seen Elijah Ponder start to come on a little bit. But to me, you get in the playoffs, getting pressure with your front four, having 4 guys up front to get after these good quarterbacks so that you can keep 7 guys back in coverage and you can play with your coverages a little bit to challenge these good quarterbacks. So to me, it's all about the disruption up front with that front four. Christian Barmore continues to be a force, but they need Milton Williams back. Hopefully Harold Landry can get healthy and they can get enough juice out of what they got.
The Patriots need to see the Carlton Davis they've seen against Cincinnati and against the Giants. The Christian Gonzalez they saw against the Giants. I don't think Cincinnati was his best game, but those 2 corners are very talented. I think they're 2 of the best players on the defense. And if they play like that, I think the coverage becomes exponentially better. I think those 2 guys locking in for the stretch drive in the playoffs would be a big boost to the defense.
I'm now joined in the studio by Patriots offensive lineman Verian Low. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, you had to step up pretty big against a pretty good Giants defensive line, and you guys didn't let up a lot of pressure.
We knew we were going against a really good front, a lot of speed and athleticism, across the board. So, we knew as long as we gave, Drake, space to step up in the pocket, he can, make the throws that he needs to make for our offense to be successful. So, that's what we wanted to do.
Now, did you and Garrett Bradbury overlap at all in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it like reuniting with him this year?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to reunite with Garrett and not be a rookie.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so, Garrett's a great guy, and I was really excited to get Garrett because he is one of the smartest football players, I've ever met.
Really?
I've ever played with. Yeah. Garrett is so bright. He's so great at getting the entire O-line, on the same page.
Okay.
It just, I have so much confidence, so much more confidence when I'm out there, and Garrett's, the one running the show for the O-line.
Bonding-wise, I know you guys do, what is it, an O-line team dinner weekly. What day is that on?
Thursday nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you guys typically going? Are you going out to eat? Is it someone's house that's hosting?
We kind of go wherever, the guy who's paying that week wants to go. If a guy wants to, go to a steakhouse, then we go there. If a guy wants to, have a chef come by the house, we go there. But it really doesn't matter as long as, we all just try to get together just, one night a week. And I feel like it's really helped us become, such a tighter knit group for sure.
Where do the Shirley Temples play into this? I heard you guys have a tradition out of getting Shirley Temples every time.
Yeah. Shirley.
Who started that?
I can't remember. It was one of our first O-line dinners that we had earlier in this year. I typically stay with the water and everything like that. But, it was a hard week of practice. Thursday, we had a full padded day, I believe. And someone was like, yeah, we're going to Shirley Temple. And I'm like, you know what? Actually sounds really good right now. It looks fire, too. And then it just kept rolling. And next thing you know, we probably had like 50 that day. And it's kind of been our thing ever since.
The visual of having been a server and going up to a table of not just football players, but you guys are all big dudes, and having you all look at me with a straight face and say, I'd like a Shirley Temple. Yes. I can't even, I'm laughing thinking about that. Yeah. So are you an extra grenadine guy? Cherries? What's the deal?
Yeah, the whole deal. Deal.
Well-deserved bye week coming up. What are your plans? What are you doing?
Just go home, reconnect with the family. It's been a long season. Spent a lot of time apart from them, so it's just gonna be really good to, get back home and relax with them, and just take the kids to school, do little things. Take the kids to school, and spend a lot of time with my wife. So I'm really excited for that.
Well, get some good quality time in this week, and then come back refreshed. And we'll be ready to rock. Last 4 games.
Yep, most definitely.
Verian, thank you so much. Enjoy the bye week.
For sure.
And we'll be back with more Patriots Unfiltered on TV after the break.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots, and by Sports Illustrated Tickets. 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. Same seats, better prices. Fans deserve better.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
It seems every week these 2025 Patriots find new ways to impress. Sometimes it's the little things, and other times, like Monday night, it's things that just hit you over the head. I'm talking about the physicality the Patriots laid on the Giants. It would have been understandable, and for some talking heads predictable, if the Patriots' batteries weren't at full charge for this one. Injuries and a bye in the horizon can be factors for a team to be focused more on getting through a game than running through their opponents. Not this team. Instead, the Patriots were intent on being the hammer, not the nail. They brought intensity and heavy hitting right from the start. Special teams was an area this showed up beautifully. Run defense, even with Milton Williams sidelined, was another place where players stepped in and stepped up. I'm talking about you, Christian Ellis, Elijah Ponder, and Corey Durden, just to name a few. The Patriots have certainly earned their bye break. Rest up, do some self-scouting, and let's get ready for the Bills.
With 4 games left in the regular season and double-digit wins already in the book, the Patriots look to be heading into their first playoff appearance in 4 years. They may even earn the bye. In this week's Trash Talk, Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault debate who the Pats might want to play and who they just might want to avoid.
5 more weeks in the NFL regular season, and the AFC is still kind of a jumbled mess trying to figure out where this playoff seeding is going to end up. But, Paul, the Patriots, they're at the top right now. Good place to be. Could it be a postseason of opportunity for the Patriots? You have teams like Kansas City fighting for their lives, Buffalo on the cusp. I'm just going to start off by saying I'd prefer not to see Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson.
You really set the whole thing up really well, because it is a jumbled mess, and really it's anybody's conference. Beyond the top 2, I think the Patriots and Denver have sort of separated themselves from the pack. The one matchup that I wouldn't want is to have to travel to Denver. The Patriots have never seemed to play well there. 4-7 in the Brady Belichick era. 0-3 in the playoffs, even with those guys. So you're talking about the greatest dynasty in the history of the sport, Mike, and even they couldn't have success on any kind of consistent basis in Denver. I'd rather not have to go there to play in the playoffs.
Patrick Mahomes, it's completely deserving of respect, but the Chiefs are struggling this year.
Yeah.
It's been up and down. So you're stuck between wondering, all right, are they right for the taking, or am I asking for a Patrick Mahomes playoff win streak just to come to this house and have to deal with that? No fun. But when I look around at Houston's defense, excellent, but a lot of these teams, Paul, seem to be fading to me. Pittsburgh, quarterback injury. Indianapolis, quarterback injury. There's just flaws on all these teams, and the Patriots have some flaws as well. But other than having to travel to Denver, I really struggle seeing a team that I don't give the Patriots a puncher's chance against.
Yeah, I would absolutely, and by no means take that as I don't want to see Denver because I don't think the Patriots can win. They absolutely would have a chance to win. I think that'd be a toss-up kind of a game. I just don't like having the history of having to play in that stadium. Say Burrow and Mahomes don't make it, and Allen and Jackson do. Okay, not ideal, but now you might only have to face one of them, and it might be an AFC Championship game in your own building. So, yeah, things have changed a lot.
AFC Championship game in our own building. That would be quite a surprise for everyone. But who are our biggest surprises here on this Patriots team? Stay tuned for that after the break.
Now back to Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
The Patriots may be on their bye, but it's no days off for the Unfiltered crew. Whether you guys like it or
not.
No
naps.
No naps, no days off. But with no game this week, let's do a little reflection instead. My question is this. Aside from Drake Maye, who on this Patriots team this year has been the biggest surprise in terms of impact?
Well, I'm going to go with the offensive line. It was a disaster last year. You had people in and out all season long. This year they went out, 4 new starters, 2 rookies on the left side. Morgan Moses, a veteran presence who the second we met him here back in February, he
Will
came
you
in
be
here
my
and was
life coach?
I know, I'm like, this is the guy to reset this offensive line room.
I'm going to look at Stephon Diggs, and it really doesn't have a ton to do with his play on the field because he's a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver, but his impact in that room, on the team, on the offense as a leader, I did not expect. That's been a big surprise to me.
My surprise has been Kayshon Boutte because this is a guy we've had for 3 years. He's shown flashes, but then this year he comes in. Maybe it's a credit to leadership. Maybe I think you have to give him a lot of credit too for the work he's putting in to mature, turning into a great receiver on this team, leading the team in touchdowns. It's like he's aged 10 years in one off season. But it's been such a pleasant surprise to me, and you love to see those comeback stories. That is going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered on TV. As a reminder, you can catch the 3 of us every week on Patriots Unfiltered, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from noon to 2 p.m. on Patriots.com. For Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, I'm Alex Francisco. We'll see you next week.